Welcome to the Maggie B Show. I'm your host, Maggie Barato, and I'm passionate about hearing God's voice and seeing His Spirit at work. Today, I want to talk a little bit just about inner healing and something that God showed me, a key in that, and a perspective on how to look at inner healing and deliverance. So I remember these several years ago. I was at this home and they were doing ministry in this home, and there was a meeting there, and there might have been like 60 people there. And I remember going into this one room, and there was a woman there, and she was in a lot of distress. It was obvious she was crying. And there was about three or four people sitting around her, and they were really doing their best to minister to her. And they were saying to her, like, you need to forgive. And she was really struggling with that by the looks of it. And she had obviously been traumatized, and it had been some kind of abuse in her life. And they were saying, you need to forgive, you need to forgive. And although what they were saying was accurate, something about it just didn't sit right with me. And it was a bit confusing because they were really trying to force her to acknowledge her unforgiveness. And meanwhile, she's in so much pain, and she just couldn't. And so I walked away from that. And I remember, saying to God, because this was new to me, and I said, God, what's the right way to do this? Like, how would you have handled that situation? And the Lord spoke to me, and He said this. He said, Maggie, it's like taking candy from a baby. And my kids were little at that time, so I knew when you were trying to take candy out of their hands, you would have to pry that out. And in the process, you might even hurt their fingers trying to pry it out. So I knew the analogy and what it meant. And He said, it's like taking candy from a baby. And this is the revelation that He showed me. He said, when someone is holding on to something that's not good for them, you can pry and you can try to make them let go of it. And in the process, if that's their heart and their heart is holding on to that, you're probably going to bruise and hurt them, and maybe even cause damage to their heart. And maybe you will be able to cause them to let that go. And you might be able to grab that thing that's not good for them out. But first chance they get, they're going to grab it again. And this is what the Lord said. He said, when you want to take candy from a baby, the best thing to do, the easiest way to do it, is offer them something better. And so when you offer them something better, they let go of what they're holding on to that's not good for them, and they grab hold of the thing that they see that's better for them. And so that is something that I've never forgotten. And when we offer the love of Jesus to people, when we offer an encounter with God's heart, the love of God, it's way better. And so I want to encourage you, if you're in any kind of ministry or you need ministry, love never fails. And we can never go wrong when we operate in that premise of let's offer them something better. It's His kindness that leads us to repentance. Thank you for listening to the Maggie B Show. Subscribe so you can tune into the next episode as we focus our eyes to look at what God is doing.